call sometime. Your number's still 911? Alrighty then.
Well, hey there, folks. Welcome to the Regular Menthol Podcast, where we discuss kino movies. My name is Tate. My co-host here is Big Chris.
Hi, folks.
We give our thoughts on the movie, our experience with it growing up. Then we discuss specific scenes that we like, followed up with our very own kino rating. Today, we're discussing the movie Ace Ventura, 1991, starring Jim Carrey, Sean Young, and Courteney Cox. Now, Big Chris, how you doing today? How you feeling, bud?
Feeling good. There's a thunderstorm happening right now. It's like insane. And there's a tornado warning in the area. How about you?
Okay. You're a little bit further out in Montgomery County than me. So I imagine I hear the rain. I hear it starting to thunder a little bit. So it must be where you are right now.
Oh, yeah.
Perhaps it's going to hit me in T-minus 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
You might hear that.
Cheer. No, man.
Cheer.
Everything's good. You can't complain. I feel like summer's coming to an end. It's depressing.
Oh, yeah, it's depressing. But you know what I think about sometimes? I don't even know what it feels like, what summer feels like. You remember being in school and you're getting out for 3 months and it feels like you got the whole summer ahead of you. And it's like such a relief to not have to go to school.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't even know what that feels like anymore.
Yeah, because it sucks.
It's just one large, yeah, it's one large depressing block.
I will say this morning I woke up and you get that like, I think on like Instagram or something, that AI generated content where it has like not Christmas in 1995 and it starts.
Yeah.
But it's all AI generated. So it's kind of insane. But I was showing my daughter tonight. She was all excited. And I'm like, you know what, dude? Am I ready for Christmas in July?
Whoa, ladies and gentlemen. Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves, Chris. We do have spooky season before Christmas season. So
we're talking about that too. Yeah, we're talking about that too. But yeah, dude, it's some of the AI shit, dude. It's kind of wild. Like it's pulling this together and I'm like, this is pretty insane. Like, I don't know where it's generating these images from, but it's pretty accurate.
There's no flaws in it. I know exactly what kind of video you're talking about. And it's like, they'll have brand names in it and stuff.
Oh, yeah. It's crazy. Like Home Alone and shit.
Wow, that's pretty good. Yeah.
I was impressed. How you feeling though, bro? You all right? You're alive.
Stunning. I feel like I'm integrating with technology. I am becoming the machine. I'm losing my mind. I don't know. Is it a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know anymore. But I feel like we're going to come out the other end and we're going to make it.
You think?
I think so.
Love the optimism. So, Ace Ventura. I mean, this is an oldie. Tell me about this movie. What do you got?
Well, a noir detective meets slapstick comedy in the movie Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. A private eye in the field of finding missing pets is tasked with finding the missing mascot for the Miami Dolphins weeks before the big game. What starts with a missing dolphin turns into a murder, kidnapping Dan Marino, and unraveling a conspiracy of revenge by a place kicker that blames Marino for his loss and also decided to become a woman for some strange reason.
Yeah, that's about it. That's the movie.
Chris, I just remember, this movie, it just came out of nowhere for me. This is 1994. We have to go back to when I was in 4th grade. And you're starting to get to the recesses of my mind that I have to use major effort to unlock. And this was like the first time I remember every demographic of person on earth quoting lines from a movie. Doing scenes from this movie in public.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yep. This was a banger, as the kids say.
You've heard everyone, they come out of the movie, they just start becoming Ace Ventura. They say, alrighty then. And this is like a viral word of mouth type of movie, I feel like.
Yeah, it certainly was. Yeah, this was highly quotable, this movie.
Right.
Yeah, it was a good one. It was like I wouldn't even say it doesn't classify as a cult classic because it was super popular in theaters, I believe.
It was, yeah.
And yeah, dude, it was like a wildfire for sure.
And, we talk about a lot of topics on this podcast. We just come back to the same things that we always harp on. And I feel like this is a perfect example of this movie that Hollywood takes a risk on. And you have no idea what this movie is supposed to be beforehand. Like there's commercials, there's trailers, right?
Yeah.
But what is a pet detective? I don't know. What's this have to do, with the Miami Dolphins? You're going into it, Jim Carrey is a leading role, ? You mean to tell me that this guy that played the fireman character from In Living Color, that's who's going to be our leading actor? I vaguely know who he is, but I don't exactly know. Slapstick comedy on the commercials. Maybe I'll take the family to go see this. Big mistake. Hollywood taking somewhat of a risk here, though, but
hats
a
off
risk,
because
a small risk, a risk nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean, this is, I think, his first major movie appearance, let alone leading role. I think I looked it up. He wasn't on SNL until 1996. So it's like, what's even wilder is this is back to back to back that year, or maybe it bled into the next year, but it was this, The Mask, and Dumb and Dumber. How's that possible? Especially on a guy who they're taking, like you said, a big risk on. Pretty wild.
Something to do with the occult. Maybe he did some kind of magic ritual, but you're right. He did these 3 movies that were giant hits right back to back to back.
Yeah.
Seemingly out of nowhere.
And he killed them all for sure. It is bizarre though. You don't see that every day where it's like, usually they let these actors flesh out. It's like, okay, yeah, they were hitting this. They're hot right now. Okay. They're hot. So we'll get them into something, that'll release next year. But dude, 3 in 1 year is kind of wild.
And it's all the same kind of character too. This slapsticky type character, right?
And you know what's wild about that though? Is think about that. 3 comedies in the same year and they're all bangers and still hold up. It's like, nah, dude. What 3 comedies were released this year? Can you name them?
Right. Can't.
It's June. So
The Odyssey.
Exactly. Yeah, it's the one where the girl's like obsessed or whatever it's called, Obsession.
Obsession. It's just all, yeah. That every movie's a comedy when you're black pilled. But
true.
I mean, we talk about this is a risk, this movie, but let's talk about the 80-20 of a movie. What drives success in a movie, right? Like I say it's the script. It's driving the success of a movie, especially in these early 90s movies. We have no idea what it is. You look at this, you might say, well, a lot of this movie is just Jim Carrey being unbelievable, right? And I agree. But how do you explain the sequel? Now, this whole comment that I'm making right now is predicated on the fact that my memory of the sequel is that it wasn't as good and that it wasn't as popular.
Mm-hmm.
But then I started looking online and people were like, oh, I like the sequel better.
No, the sequel's, dude, there's no way. The sequel, so that's one of those where they try to do the same thing and they tried probably a little harder on the second. They have like these really good locations and shit. But yeah, dude, there's no question that the sequel's okay. But this is by far, it's just impossible to outdo a sequel, right? And this one, it's got like this charm about it that you just can't replicate. You know what I mean? Like this is such an OG movie, so original character. He does so well at it. It's like they probably shouldn't have attempted a sequel.
The lines in it, but yeah, exactly. And I mean, you could have Jim Carrey play this character like 100 times, but what's driving the success of this one, I feel like, is majority the script.
Yeah, dude, the script is good.
The lines.
It makes you, but he also has to deliver and does such a great job. You know what I mean? So the sequel is very quotable as well. Has some good lines. What is the one? Bumblebee tuna or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just, I don't know, man. Like I said, there's a certain charm about this movie. It's very original, very cool. And it just blew up. So it was very hard to outdo it with a sequel. So, I mean, it's kind of a, tough ask, but yeah, it definitely was good, just not anywhere near, in my opinion. So, but yeah, so funny backstory for this one. This was like, I've said it before on this podcast, but we had like 5 or 10 movies that me and my 3 brothers it was like our travel repertoire. And we had this sick, I can't even remember what the name of this van was, but it was like one of those old school vans where it had like the the drapes on the windows and shit. But it was like right when TVs came out in vans. So you'd have the small little TV up top in the middle and like a little overhead on top of the driver's seat where there's like a VCR, which eventually we'd connect to like, you know, Nintendo's, Segas and shit. But just think about this. We're on a road trip or even like a 15-minute drive down the road. And we're just putting this thing in the VCR and quoting this nonstop. Like, I'm just imagining how pissed my parents are having to hear this dumb movie for the 100th time. And us just these 4 idiots in the back just quoting it, then like walking around the house saying these stupid lines the entire day. It's like, goddamn.
It does bring up a good, interesting point, though, because we like Ace Ventura, right? A lot of people that are our age like Ace Ventura. But that generation ahead of us, they see this kind of movie. What are they thinking? You know what I mean? It's like not this goofy shit once again.
Yeah,
I gotta drive through all
sure.
this crazy stuff.
Anyway. So what I was saying earlier is like you have this triad of movies in the same year, and it makes me think immediately of Adam Sandler. Like, is this the same situation that he went through? And it's like, what did he have? The Waterboy, Billy Madison. And Happy Gilmore. So it's like he then goes on to do a couple other movies. Jim Carrey goes on to do what? Bruce Almighty, and then does some more serious roles. And it's like, not for nothing. I mean, Adam Sandler in what's the Paul Thomas Anderson movie that he's in with
Punch Drunk Love.
Punch Drunk Love, serious role in that. Does a good job, but it's like you can't break who those two are as these characters. You know what I mean?
Right.
It doesn't work. So it's like they hit these trifecta. And again, a lot of people credit Adam Sandler's success to the writer in those 3 movies. I think you were the one that told me that. And as you mentioned with this, the writing is phenomenal. So it's like, not to take anything away from the 2 of them, but it's like a perfect scenario where you have this like really good writing, a really good actor playing this specific character and style, and it's just a home run.
Oh, it does make me wonder, though, do these actors get tired of being typecast as the same guy, and then demand to do something different?
100%.
To varying levels of success.
Yeah,
you know, it's not like they completely fell off, but
you can only go to the well so many times, and they're probably aware of like, okay, so I need to make sure that I do something else because I'm just going to burn out, and the public's going to get tired of me being Ace Ventura for the rest of my career. Like, I got to be able to branch out and do other shit, which to their credit, you know, they tried. I mean, Jim Carrey's somewhat still relevant, I guess. Adam Sandler, what was the movie he just did with the diamonds or some shit? It's like, am I going to watch this? I don't know.
It's not bad. Yeah.
Well, yeah, fair enough. But yeah, dude, it's interesting though. I just find it crazy that like these 2 actors had like this 3 bangers, and that was pretty much, you know, that was like the height of their careers. First time watching this movie, you recall?
Boy, you know, I can't even remember with this one. I remember my sister really liked this movie.
Yeah.
Which stands out in my mind. And it's related to what I was saying earlier about everyone was saying the lines from this movie. Like, I just remember my sister saying goofy lines from this movie. And like that just stuck in my memory. I'm like,
what?
Normal people were really into this.
Yeah, dude.
How about you?
It was on fire at the time. Yeah, this was one we probably bought it straight from DVD. Definitely didn't see it in theaters, but I'd argue we probably rented it from Blockbuster one weekend and like begged my parents to buy it. So this is 1994. So I'm 7 when this comes out, and my brothers are like 9, 11. So yeah, this is a weird one because it makes you think, like, what is it about this movie? I guess the humor and like the outgoing character that draws kids in. Like, what is making this so? It's got to just be the quotes and the erratic behavior.
Yeah, it is. It's also I feel like it's the anti-authority nature of Ace Ventura.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good point.
But I'd like to add on that you do bring up a great point of it's like a lot of kids were into Ace Ventura and then they watched the movie and their parents like, oh, wait a second. This isn't
really,
a kids
dude.
movie at all.
100%, dude. Yes. Yeah, we'll get to that. But literally me character, I'm going to say it for you. You're Ace. I mean, probably the most 100% accurate character, literally me, of any movie we've covered for you.
I mean, I think he's literally me character for everyone. He really does represent the audience member where he's kind of like this guy that's smarter than everyone and can't interact with the general public. So he puts on this character, and maybe I do that to a certain extent. You know, am I doing a gimmick here? I don't know.
You getting over with the people?
I'm working the marks into a shoot. Okay. It's just, you got to live the gimmick. That's what, and Ace is my model.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty accurate character representation. I think for me, I kind of vibe with Ray Finkel's dad. That tracking with you? I mean,
that does track. Yeah, just show up and just roll a shotgun right in my face.
Yeah, it's like, is there a stronger play than retiring to the marshes of Florida and just greeting visitors with a double barrel shotty? I don't think so. I think that's it.
Damn,
that's a play. So let's get into some of these fun facts here. So this one's interesting. Rick Moranis turned down the role of Ace Ventura. Now, could you ever see this dude playing? I mean, it's difficult because you know how well Jim Carrey did with the character, but what do you think that would look like?
Well, the difference would be that in my mind, Ace Ventura, the character played by Jim Carrey, is this kind of like a cocksure dude who has a lot of confidence, and I don't really see that in Rick Moranis as much.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I don't think that would work out. It'd be a whole different character, I think, but it wouldn't be as good, obviously. So the short scene during the party where Ace pulls the cellist's arm as he walks by, making him produce a false tone, was improvised by Jim Carrey. So, like, I'm assuming that the vast majority of this was improvised. There's also the line of Jim Carrey improvised many comedic moments throughout the movie. If you look closely, you can see many times where his co-stars are trying not to laugh. So it's like, I'm sure that this is what good movies are, dude. It's like when the director, the writer, and the lead actors are in tune, it's like, dude, it just makes magic. Like, you can just tell everyone's on the same page. It was probably a super fun movie to shoot, I would imagine. So it's like, they just knocked it out of the park for sure. The original concept was that the pet detective character was a bumbling idiot until Jim Carrey was cast and his character was rewritten. Carrey reportedly had two conditions for doing the movie. The comedy had to be as zany as physically possible, and his character, despite his quirks and eccentricity, should be good at what he does. So it's like, yeah, dude, there's times where I'm watching this movie and I'm like, this guy's probably smarter than you give him credit for. And I think what that you can see in the script, it's like, there's times where it's like he's meant to be an idiot, but there's also times where it's like some genius shining through, you think?
100%. That's the gimmick. That's his public face. His whole zaniness is his public face that he requires in order to interact with, dare I say it, normies. He seems like, dude, I'm a really smart guy. The only problem with that is that he's poor and lives in a shitty apartment and drives a beater. So, like, well, it's kind of like he is a smart guy, but he doesn't have his shit together because he's probably a little unhinged as well. The guy cares about pets more than people. Yeah. So you're right. He does have that air of, I'm smarter than you.
But I think it plays well.
Many
it plays
points
well.
during
I would like that better.
It makes the character better.
Oh, for sure, dude. It's like if it was a bumbling idiot, I don't think it would be nearly as funny. No question about it. The real final score of Super Bowl, 19? In 1985 was San Francisco 38, Miami 16. The game footage of Ray Finkel used in the film is actually a 1984 clip of Dolphins kicker Uwe von Schaman. So, like, this is an example. I'm always curious about this when I see sporting events in movies and TV shows even. It's like, some of them are obvious. You can see it's like clear footage from TV. But other times it's kind of weird. I'm like, how do they actually depict that. And it kind of sounds dumb because in this, it's clear that they just have actors and they just run around on the field. Something like I think about Moneyball, where they have those on-field sequences where it's like the lighting's all crazy. It's like, okay, these are just actors, but I can't think of something offhand. But there are instances where I'm like, wait a second, did they film that? Are they using footage from a game? It's kind of weird. So kind of like a blurred lines there, where I'm like, sometimes I'm like, well, how the hell do they actually accomplish this? Or they just fill like a quarter of a stadium. Dark Knight, where I think they were in Heinz Field in Pittsburgh, and they filled like a quarter of the stadium for that explosion scene, which is kind of wild when you think about it. Like, imagine
CGI.
that chaos.
They just have they have CGI sports ball players. Imagine.
Yeah. Let's talk about some of these Kino scenes here. Let's get into it. What do you got?
The first scene here, he shows Ace pretending to be package delivery guy to get information on this guy's dog he has in his apartment.
Great intro.
And it's just like the thing that jumps out at me here is that Ace, perfect example of the power of self-amusement.
Yeah.
I'm going to come back to this multiple times during this podcast, but this is the attractive quality of this man.
Yes.
It's the ability to not care and to simply be able to amuse yourself in any situation.
Yeah, this is a great intro, dude. And I think further reiterates the point of this guy probably just riffed this entire thing. Like, the way he's kicking the package, gets down and like flings it over his head and hits himself. He hits his hat. It's like, dude, you just got to imagine they just did a bunch of takes where like, yo, just go off. Because this, you can just
let
tell.
him cook.
Let him cook. Literally let him cook, because it's so good and so original. It's like, yeah, I think these 90s writers were so good in coming up with this kind of shit. But I want to believe that, like, you know, the majority was just this dude just riffing.
Well, do you have this guy zipping her up and down the hall? There's no point to him smashing the package as much as he does. He's just doing it to amuse himself. And this seems to take priority on top of literally everything that he's doing.
Yeah.
Like, he brings the dog back to his client. And this is woman that's super hot. He's asking, oh, can I do anything for him? Like, zero hesitation. This dude ignores her sexual undertones and goes right to, I'll take some reward money. And also my car's damaged. It's like, that's him being self-amused, even above just getting sexual favors right on the spot.
Right.
Like, he doesn't even care.
Yeah, dude, that's exactly it. Because, yeah, he looks, and it's not because he's aloof. Like, you can tell there's a fine line between him just being like an idiot and aloof. That's probably the way they originally wrote it. But it just comes across as like, he just doesn't give a shit. It's like, yeah, I'll just get my car fixed. Like, don't really care. But a funny side note about this part is, I was saying we bought the movie on VHS, and this was a scene after we probably played it a dozen times, where my parents recorded over it, because, you know, we're like 7, 9 years old. And they recorded over this segment, so there's like 30 seconds of just fuzziness on the movie, which looking back on is hilarious. But you remember when you'd like record over something and like get this like fuzzy shit going on?
Oh yeah, dude.
Like, you could just record over VHSs. How insane is that?
100%. Well, did you have two VHS? What do they call it? VCRs back in the day? Did you have two of them?
Yeah. I think so.
Like, if you used two of them, you could record like over a VHS if you had so you could rent a movie and then just record it on a blank VHS, and now you own that movie, but it's not as good quality.
It's not as good quality.
Yeah. Dude, but there's that. There's premium channels, the scrambled porn.
Don't know any of that. Not familiar with any of this premium channels, all that stuff.
Well, it was used for gooning. Scrambled porn was the best you had back in the day. It was for gooning. But,
my dad had this sick setup, bro. It was like the TV downstairs, and then he had a giant speaker on each side. And then to the left of the speaker was this glass casing that had, you know, like tape deck, like VCR, record player that pulled out, and then all like the buttons and shit. It's like this, dude, super sick setup. I'm like, yeah, man, I'd have that right now. That would rule.
Like a legit stereo.
Yes, like a proper stereo. Exactly. So he's going to the apartment, and the landlord rolls up, and he's like, I heard animals in there, Ventura. scratching around. So he's like, what's all this pet food for? And you got this brief pause, right? And Ace goes, fiber. Like, it's just like this small quirky lines. And I know I always say this about these like 90 movies and shit, but it's like this, it's just such like a line. It just like makes you chuckle. I'm like, where are these lines in modern films? Like this dialogue, like it's just good, right? It's just, I don't know why there's a million in this movie, but there's like lines that go over your head as a kid and you watch them back and you're like, oh dude, that's kind of funny.
Yeah. I mean, it's like he hits you with these lines super quick.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, that's a clever line.
Clever. Exactly.
I wish I could say that. I wish I could have the wit to say that real quick, you know?
Side note though, this actor who plays, well, I don't even know what the guy's name is, and the character name.
Hector.
Yeah, literally. So it's actor Mark Margolis, rest in peace. Hero actor. People probably know him from Breaking Bad. He's like the guy in the wheelchair. But he's actually also the car driver in Scarface that Tony kills. Not a huge actor. Probably been in some other shit that I'm not mentioning, but this dude rules. Straight up.
Great character actor, for sure.
Great guy. Rest in peace.
A lot of times in this movie, I found myself actually laughing. Now, that's a big thing for me, Chris.
Big ass for you nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just Unc being Unc, but like I'm just kind of depressed all the time. And it's like I don't really laugh like I used to, if that makes sense.
No,
like I'm being somewhat hyperbolic right now, but like I don't really laugh as much as I used to. And so when I find a movie like this, like, yeah, we enjoy these movies that we talk about on here, but I'm watching this, I am legitimately laughing at parts. And it's such a nice little surprise, because Ace is called in to meet Melissa to discuss the case. Melissa, played by Courteney Cox, is maybe the funniest shit ever, though, dude. Like, this guy, Ace, sits down and he just has a pocket full of sunflower seeds. Why? Don't know. Starts eating them in the middle of the discussion. And it's like so disruptive to the discussion that she's like, do you need an ashtray? He's like, no, I don't smoke. And he's just taking the shells, crumbling them up and putting them on the desk.
Yes, dude.
It's like, dude, what was this? This is so random.
Trust me, I wish it was that organic. I'm assuming that because they show later on when he has the sunflower seeds in his belly button, I'm assuming he has them for his birds. But it would have been way better if they would have not incorporated that in the later scenes where he's feeding the pets the sunflower seeds, because it would be 10 times better if this maniac's just rolling around with a pocket full of sunflower seeds and just eating them.
Right.
Like, it would have added so much to the character. Not that it doesn't still work, trust me, but like, you talk about Courteney Cox, though. Here we are. How hot? Thoughts?
Extremely, dog. Did we discuss this when we talked about Scream? Was she the one where we were like,
yeah, we brought her up.
I forget. Or was it Neve Campbell? I forget.
I think we compared them, but yeah, go ahead.
This is prime Courteney Cox.
Yeah.
She's hot.
I'm going to agree.
And I'm not going to listen to anyone saying otherwise.
Any naysayers? Nah, she's got my blessing in this movie. Super duper hot. But certainly plays like a likable character. You know what I mean? So I'm not really a big fan of her in Scream. Kind of just annoying. Obviously, I think that was intended, but
the media.
Yeah, the media. Exactly. So, but in this, I think she's a super likable character. Super fun. So, but let's talk about, you're saying about this guy. Let's talk about the drip for a second. So the Hawaiian shirt with the wife beater look still holds up. I'm going to rock that this summer. I might even rock that this weekend. But he's got these striped pants with these combat boots, right? Is this working? And then obviously the hair.
100. They're like slacks. The slacks are kind of jacked up over his waist, and he has a belt on that's...
Yes, tucked into the belt of it.
It's a real wild look, and it speaks to the guy's confidence, where normally you see a guy like this in the real world, and they're not going to act like the way Ace is. They're not going to dress like the way he does. He has utter confidence, and it comes through with his drip.
Yeah, I'd agree. It's a good look. It's a fun character, which I think I did read that he had say on what the character looks like. And he said that he wanted to look like a colorful bird, hence the Hawaiian shirts, obviously filmed in Florida. So it kind of works. But yeah, the look is sick. It's original. I like it. So then Roger Predactor, great character name, Roger Predactor, and Melissa, they try to fend off these reporters when he's investigating the tank. And I'm like watching this, and it took me till today to figure this out, but they bum rush him and they're like, oh, we're going to go fend off the reporters. There's like 20 of these reporters. And the last guy goes, come on, Roger. I got to get a shot of Snowflake for his new trick on the nightly news. What? Dude, this is Florida, bro. You got Florida man running around, getting into all kinds of shit. You need the football team's mascot to do a new kick. It does the same kick every time. It's the same trick.
Well, that's, it's true what you're saying, but I wonder if, like, what they do for the news, I imagine, is someone hunts the internet and tries to find headlines or stories or whatever, or they got a guy on a police scanner, whatever, right? Yeah. And they just didn't have that back then. So they had to just make the news. So they're going around, oh, we got this dolphin that can kick a field goal. Let's obviously get some footage for that. It'll fill up 5 minutes of our show tonight. Boom.
Fair enough.
20 reporters, though? Like, how many news stations do they have?
They're fighting for the story, bro. So then Ace goes to see Woodstock, right? He needs to figure out who would have wanted to kidnap Snowflake. Side note, you have a nice cameo here appearance by Cannibal Corpse. You familiar with this band?
Oh, yeah. This is very surprising. I completely forgot about this scene.
So random. Apparently, Jim Carrey is a big Cannibal Corpse fan, and it was like a joke that he was going to have them on as a cameo, and they agreed to it because they were like touring in the area or something. Some wild shit, but completely random. Cannibal Corpse. What? And then this guy, his lab is down there in the basement of this venue. It's like, I never really... After a million times of watching that, I never understood that scene. I'm like, what in the hell? Why is this in here? But it happened. So it's funny, though. This guy, Woodstock, I'm going to go with top supporting character in this film. Phenomenal guy. He's got the 2 sets of the glasses. And I'm like, these two, when they're going back and forth, this is you and I at work. Literally. They're back and forth. I'm like, this is like people think we're on the spectrum the way we talk to each other.
They come in our room, they see us doing some weird shit, looking up some weird shit, having an insane conversation. It's this scene.
Yeah, literally.
By the way, if I wasn't Ace, I would be Woodstock. Woodstock's room here is exactly what I want to build and live in. I want to be in some kind of bunker. I want to have computers. I want to be hacking the mainframe, dog. That's me.
Literally be character too. Nah, he's a great character. This guy's supporting role. Hero.
So Ace and Melissa, they go to this guy Camp's house party, and it's this rich guy in the hills, and he's got this big mansion. He's having a party, and Melissa introduces him as Tom Ace. She's like, this is Ace, and then she realizes it would sound insane, so she's just like, Tom Ace. And with zero hesitation, zero pause, he picks up that Melissa's embarrassed by his name. So when she introduces him as Tom Ace, he immediately goes, "Hi, Tom Ace." And I love that just perfect timing in this scene from here. Like, you don't have that, like, because it's important to the character that he's really quick. He's really quick-witted. Mm-hmm. So he picks up on this and immediately is just like, Tom Ace. Mm-hmm. I was like, yes, I love that little nuance.
Yeah.
But this, and I realized this at this point in the movie, I said, you ever have some kind of confrontation with someone, and let's say hours later, maybe you're in the shower, you realize, damn, I should have said this. Yeah. That would have been that would have been the perfect comeback, right?
Dude, I win so many arguments in the shower, it's crazy.
And
it's crazy.
That's Ace throughout this whole movie. He never misses, dog.
Yeah.
He hits the perfect lines every single time, and that is his superpower. He's just super quick-witted.
Yeah, man. His delivery in this movie is so spot on. It's like, I'd argue that this is probably the reason this movie made this list. I know it's a lot of nostalgia factor for me why I threw it on, but it's like this character, that's what I was saying about, Rick Moranis. It's like, it wouldn't work because Jim Carrey, this is his role. This is his character. Spot on, one of a kind. Kudos.
Yeah.
For sure.
This character of Ace Ventura it reminds me of Peter Venkman from Ghostbusters, but just turned up to 11.
Yeah.
Like Venkman's
literally.
the same way, where he has this quick-witted responses to people.
Yeah.
And he's just super confident. This is like him on 11.
Yeah.
Like just way more extreme.
Yep. I like that. But in this scene where they're at this party, they insert this great white segment. And I'm like, I don't even know what's going on here. I get that he's looking for Snowflake or whatever. They decide to just have this great white attack him. But I'm thinking to myself, did they just write this scene in to just have him make this insane face that he does? Like where his lips are quivering and his like eyes are going. It's just, he makes this crazy ass face. I'm like, this is the only reason they put this in the movie.
Right. And it's very strange. They had to have some way of figuring out, like, they think that this guy has the dolphin.
Right.
They're like, we're going to put a tank in his house, but plot twist, it's going to be a shark. Why does this guy have a shark tank in his house? Not known.
Well, he's rich. So
it surely allows this incredible facial expression from Jim Carrey in this movie at this specific spot. You know,
well, yeah,
and the best facial expression.
For sure. And I think you probably heard this before, where he would, like, when he was a kid, spend like hours in front of the mirror practicing crazy faces. So it's like, they just let this guy cook. They just unleashed him to just do his thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it works. It works.
You have this nice little montage here of Ace tracking down the 1984 Dolphins to look at their AFC championship ring.
Yep.
And it's in these 90s movies, these comedy movies, they had this penchant for throwing in random things for seemingly no reasons. I just love this stuff. Like Ace finds this dude that was on the team, Jeff Cross, the real guy that was on the team.
Yeah.
And he sees him at a bar and he goes to arm wrestle him in this montage. Why is he arm wrestling him? Not known.
No, he wants to
like,
look
why
at the
is
ring.
Jeff Cross just at a...
He's trying to look at the
ring.
ring.
But why is Jeff Cross at a bar arm wrestling? What is he doing there arm wrestling?
It's Florida, bro.
But also, even more confusing is Ace shows up wearing this fake beard to the arm wrestling match. Like, I don't think anyone knows who you are. Why? But that's the self-amusement. Like, he's just doing things for random reasons just to amuse himself.
Maybe if it's like a biker bar and he's trying to look tough or something, grows a beard, has like a cut-off t-shirt or whatever. But dude,
right,
100%. I was literally just going to bring this up though. It's like it's Dumb and Dumber, where they have the montage with that song New Age Girl and it's playing.
Mm-hmm.
These 90s montages, Kino. It plays like the entirety of a song and it just goes through like this montage, which can cover so much, plot line, and it like happens in 3 minutes. So it's just like, ooh, that's a cheat sheet right there. Easy way to do it. And it works.
Yeah.
Love it. It's great. So after this, there's a scene, dude, this scene's great, dude. I didn't even think about this or put two and two together or even paid any attention till today. It's where Ace is pissed at Melissa, right? So he's obviously pissed off. He's not pissed at her, but he's pissed off because he can't figure out the case. So she's just trying to help out. She's like spitballing ideas to him and everything. So she goes, have you ever heard of FAN? Like the acronym FAN? He gives this detailed breakdown of the origin of this organization, like the founders' names, all. And he's like, no, who are they? And then she responds with like, well, did you know that last year they threatened over 127 college teams with letters? And he just completely disregards her, doesn't even acknowledge what he says. And he's like, what are you feeding your dog? And she's like, why? He goes, because he's miserable. Like, she just gets up. She's like, you're just pissed off because you can't figure out this case. And he calls her fat and ugly in the process. And I'm like, dude, he's so pissed off about this case and he doesn't give a shit about this. She's semi-attracted to him and how hot she is. And he just completely disregards her. I'm like, watching this back, I'm like, this is gold.
Dude, this is high level game, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
This is high level stuff where you just disregard what someone's saying. They're all concerned. Because why? This woman, Courteney Cox, is hot. So she's probably used to dudes trying to pick her up.
Yeah.
And now, fawning over. Now you got this weird dude who basically like is not even completely disregarding what you have to say. Not only that, but then immediately follows up by calling you fat. It's like the total opposite. It's like this dude has an unbelievable level of confidence. So
this is the play, gentlemen. Just have supreme confidence and act weird as shit.
Just call women hot. Just call them fat.
Yeah, let me know how that works out for you. That cuts to this scene where they're at Roger Predactor's apartment investigating the death. So this is actually a good scene because all the cops are there, the detectives and everything. Einhorn's like, who the hell invited him? They're all cracking jokes at him and everything. But this kind of adds to what I was saying about the character is he actually figures out that he walks by, the neighbor says she heard a scream, and he's like, this is double pane proof glass, right? There's no way that neighbor could have heard the scream from the outside, and actually figures out the case on the fly. It's like, this dude is an actual legitimate detective.
It's funny about this movie is a couple of things. One, I've noticed that he's just super comfortable just walking into police scenes, into crime scenes, whatever. He walks into the police station, whatever. And also, this is like a noir detective movie.
Yeah.
You don't realize it because it's Ace Ventura slapstick comedy.
Mm-hmm.
But in a lot of ways, it's just, they just play it like a noir detective movie. And the combination of those two is so incredible that it works.
Yeah, for sure.
Ace, and this is where it gets hot and heavy, folks. Ace and Melissa, they're back at the office where Ace discovers Ray Finkel on the wall. And it's just like, dude, I just want to point out, like I saw this, and I'm like, okay, this is where it's all coming together. He suggests, oh, you shouldn't be alone tonight. She says, like, what do you suggest? And it cuts to them just banging at Ace's apartment.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, look at the power of the self-amused. Okay. She's immediately smitten with this guy. All accounts is the opposite of what women want, right?
Yeah.
Lives in a small, shitty apartment with 100 animals inside, right? He's poor. He drives a beater with a broken windshield. None of this matters, folks, because why? He owns everything. He owns it. He doesn't care. It doesn't matter to him whether he gets rejected, whatever. It's more important for him to just amuse himself.
Yeah, bro.
And that is an attractive quality above all else. And if I may, let's compare and contrast this. Earlier in the movie where they go to Camp's party, played by Udo Kier, by the way, the guy's clearly hitting on Melissa. Camp, he's good looking, he's charming, he's rich, right? He doesn't know what to say to Melissa. He's like, he says the fish are wonderful, aren't they? Like, or he says, oh, I got a few cases of wine from my dealer in Paris. And both times Melissa is just like, yeah, sure. Did you notice that?
Yeah, but you mentioned something there earlier, and you said this is ultimately what women want. I don't know if women know what they want, bro. Like some of the stuff that
we don't listen.
I'm not too sure.
We don't listen to what they say. I'm saying this is what women want. Well, I'm saying what they want on paper.
On paper.
What they say they want. I want, or what people think that women want is the guy that's like Camp. Right. Oh, he's a rich, good-looking guy. He's looks maxing. I'm sorry, clavicular. The looks maxer will always lose out to the guy who is the self-amused. The self-amused champion.
So he's what the kids would call aura maxing. It's like,
oh my God.
How many times have we discussed, even recently, dudes that pull chicks way out of their league just by having confidence? Like, from an outsider, you're like, how's that working exactly? But these broads are just drawn to them because they have they believe in themselves. And I'm like, oh, all right, well, maybe that does work. Many such cases we've talked about before.
Well, think of the psychology behind that. Okay. They're super confident, but why? Like, there's seemingly nothing going for this guy. So why is he so confident? And then you start getting in his area and you start like buying into his gimmick because he's so confident. Maybe he knows something that I don't.
Right.
And then you start just buying into it. And like, that's literally, if you just are delusionally confident, you will win at everything in life.
Literally.
That's a secret. That is the secret.
It's very true, dude.
So there's this plot point in the movie that Finkel is pissed at Dan Marino because he messed up holding the ball for an extra point, causing Finkel to miss it. I had to go look this up, but because I was like, wait a second. do starting quarterbacks really hold the ball? Like, no. Dan Marino never held the ball for any kick.
Well,
in his NFL career.
So this is, 80s, 90s or whatever. And the NFL is much different. I guess my take on it is because these dudes are paid so freaking much money and they're so important nowadays, they would never let a starting quarterback hold a point after nowadays. But this is the 80s. So it's like they probably went for a lot more fake kicks, right? Back then. So it probably wouldn't be abnormal to have a starter, I don't know, hold a point after. Maybe, I guess, the backup. But my point is like, if you're going to fake a kick, you're going to want a quarterback instead of a punter holding the ball. So it wouldn't be too far-fetched. And like, they were a little more crazy back in the 80s and 90s. You know what I mean?
Well, I think they usually have even now, isn't it the backup that holds it?
Yeah, it would make more sense to have the backup, but it wouldn't surprise me because like 60s, 70s, 80s era football was completely unhinged. So they didn't really care.
Can you imagine if it's just the backup? The backup is the guy that normally holds it. And then out of nowhere, Dan Marino comes in to be the holder. Like, gee, I wonder if they're going to go for it or not. What if it's going to be a fake kick?
So the scene I mentioned earlier, Finkel's dad, but the scene where he goes to visit the parents is so gold. It's like so many good quotable lines in this movie, but the dad pulls a gun on him and he asks about if he knows where Ray Finkel is. And he's like, what do you know about Ray Finkel? And he just goes on this tangent. This line is delivered so well. Like the memorization of this line, the way he delivers it, if you watch closely, it almost looks like they speed it up a little bit. And it's just like, kudos off to him. Great delivery, great memorization. I thought this was fantastic. But also, the lady who plays his mom is so good. She reminds me of Fluffy, your mom. You get the track of that?
She's definitely got some Fluffy vibes. Definitely tracks. 100%. She's coming out with some cookies like, oh, hello. Like, that would be 100% my mom.
What is sports nut? She expects some home any minute. Dude, there's so many good lines in this movie. I could quote it. I could do this whole movie front to back, probably. Looking back on it.
Dan Marino is being kidnapped from his commercial shoot by two guys dressed up as linebackers.
What a scene.
And this was like one of those things where, again, they throw random stuff into movies. Ace shows up and he's turning a corner, and the cops are coming out of the building, and Ace just literally drives into two cops.
Lights him up.
Just hits them.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa, like there's some major charges.
Yeah,
Ace, you might be going to prison for 20 years.
2 counts of attempted murder when it's all said and done. But it's like, he's immediately, right after that, he stops a bullet with his teeth. So I'm like, all right, there's some wiggle room in this movie. Fair enough. Like, it's not too far-fetched.
Another extremely random thing they throw in where he just stops a bullet.
That's like
catching it in his teeth.
The great thing about these movies, man, these 80s and 90s films is like, there's some shit that's just like so outrageous where it's like, you could be going probably 10, 15 minutes in the movie and be like, okay, this is believable. This could happen. This could happen. Like something so outrageous happens. You're like, no, dude, like this is, it puts you in check. You're like, okay, this is just like this insane movie.
Yeah.
Stopping a bullet with your teeth. Anyhow, so you mentioned about the commercial. It's like he's doing a commercial, if you caught this, for isotoners. Are you familiar with isotoners?
Oh yeah, big in the 90s. Some glovies, absolutely. Getting those isotoner gloves.
Do you remember what they were famous for?
Oh yeah, I mean, tell the people. You know damn well I'm OJ pilled, though.
This is the brand of gloves, folks, that OJ did not kill his wife with. Because he did not kill his wife. If the gloves don't fit, you must quit. So the following scene is this asylum scene. And like this scene always, it's funny and shit, but I'm always thinking to myself, why is this scene in here? I get that he's trying to do some reconnaissance and find Finkel's stuff, I guess, from his time in an asylum. But I feel like the intention here was to just insert this scene in, write it in, to just have him go completely insane and unhinged because, like, you got this character in an insane asylum. It's like, does it need to be in here?
Right. They could have just got
That's
his
a weird
stuff
scene.
from his parents' house. It's like they added another scene of him being completely nuts in the
Yeah.
insane asylum.
It's
Like,
it's weird.
It's not a long movie. It's an hour and a half. So
Not even.
it does go by pretty quick. But like that, you're right. This is like an added scene that seems a bit extra.
But it still works. And this is a testament to the
Yeah,
writing. Like it keeps everything in chronological order. It's good writing. It still works, but it just seems like it's like, let's just write it and have him go completely unhinged and see how it works out.
And then there's, Ace is in his apartment putting everything together. And it dawns on him that Einhorn is Finkel, right? And it's this incredible reaction from Ace where he immediately just starts throwing up because him and Einhorn made out.
Yeah.
And like some of this stuff, I've read a lot of reviews online and people were upset with how this aged like wine that was left out on the counter for 20 years. And they were not happy about the fact that Ace is this womanizer and basically just transphobic, I guess you could say.
Is he a womanizer?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think he's getting molested by the women that he comes in contact with.
Right.
It's all the women coming on to him if you look in this movie.
Yes. Yeah. Well,
but in any event, so it's taken to its comedic extreme though. He starts throwing up and then he burns his clothes and then gets in the shower naked and starts crying.
It's such a good scene, dude.
Okay.
It's so good. But I think even better than that is it cuts right to him just sitting in his car. He's like staking out Einhorn or whatever. And he's just got this angry look on his face. He's just stuffing wads of gum in his mouth. He has like 26 of gum. And then later on, he gets to the wherever that they're holding Dan hostage, and he like spits it out. It's like this big turd coming out of his mouth. It's just stupid. It's stupid shit, but it's like looking back on it, was like so funny back in the day.
And all the while, while this is unfolding, this music from the Crying Game starts playing. I don't know if you're familiar with the Crying Game. Are you crying getting pilled?
I gotta have to hear it again. Must look past it.
It was this movie from the early 90s it was about this transgender guy.
Okay.
And he was in the movie or whatever. But do you remember like in the 90s, they would have this thing where they would reference other movies in comedic ways?
Yeah.
And example, like Wayne's World had the T-1000.
Yeah.
And they just don't do this shit anymore. They really don't make movies anymore, but there's not enough of them where they can just have this cultural reference because A, there is no culture. B, there are no movies. There you go.
Yeah. Well, it's like you mentioned, they're not making movies anymore. So it's like, there's no comedy. So they have nothing to reference. There's no other good reference to it. You know what I mean? So it can't happen. But yeah, there's many instances of that where it's like breaking the fourth wall or whatever, or whatever the hell that's called. But yeah.
Yeah. I guess Deadpool does it, but
yeah. And I'm not even saying breaking
that's
the fourth
kind of the
wall,
gimmick.
It's like that world within a world or whatever. So
yeah. So Ace is rescuing Dan Marino at the docks. Perhaps the most absurd thing in this movie, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Hear me out here.
Yeah.
Okay. They're showing the Super Bowl. Dolphins are playing the Eagles.
Oh. Okay.
The Birds. Now,
Birds.
I don't know how much you remember of early 90s Eagles football, but
Not
I was around and I was watching it. Okay. They're 1994, the last year of Rich Kotite.
I've heard that name.
All right. Are you from Rich Kotite was this insane coach on the Eagles who would wear a starter jacket.
Hell yeah.
It was insane. So this year they went 7-2 to start the season and then lost 7 games in a row to miss the playoffs. So just think about how absurd that would be.
Pretty insane. I'd still back them.
But anyway, they're in the Super Bowl. Oh, dude. So the Eagles had Buddy Ryan. They get rid of Buddy Ryan because he's a loose cannon. And they're like, who do we have? We have Rich Kotite.
Hell yeah. His name was.
I just remember him being like this goofy looking dude, this goofy looking, normal looking guy who would wear a starter jacket on the sidelines.
I love it.
But more importantly, though, they kind of discussed it like, oh, what are we going to do? Are we going to postpone the game? And it's like, what would actually happen in the real world if the quarterback was kidnapped before the big game,
Oh.
would they postpone it?
It's a good question, actually. In 2026, I would probably say, there's so much betting and if we got like scheduling involved, I don't even know, dude. Like, can you move? Do they have some top tier event coordinators for this? Hey, I'm an event coordinator. What's your LinkedIn? So I would imagine the event coordinators could make it happen, but I don't know. I would imagine they would postpone the game, right? If it's Dan Marino is the guy in the league, so if it's like current era, like a Patrick Mahomes or a Josh Allen in the current NFL, it's like I'd probably say, yeah, there'd be like a huge investigation. It'd be probably a big deal. I would say they'd postpone it. What are your thoughts?
It would be, I don't know. It would be unprecedented, but it got me thinking a lot of weird thoughts when I was watching this. Because it'd be like, yeah, like what if you put a huge bet on the game and you just kidnap the quarterback?
Well,
like that would be unprecedentedly insane. But
I don't know. All bets are off. I think it's rigged anyway, personally.
But there's also the idea that all this programming and everything, there's so much money put into the build up to the game. You can't just have the big game on another night too.
Nope.
You can't postpone. You know what I'm saying? So do they do the unthinkable and just play the game? I don't know. I just went off in a whole rabbit hole thinking about this.
For sure. But in this scene though, I thought you were going to mention how bad Dan Marino's acting is. And I'm like, this is so bad that it's good. He's giving these facial expressions, like going back and forth between Ace and Einhorn. And I'm like, God damn, dude, this is epic. But either way, I'm a big Dan Marino guy. I don't know how you feel about him. Don't know much about him. I just remember watching this video of him from like the 90s or 2000s where he's like on a panel of like a bunch of guys talking football. And he just pops off and like slams his hand down on the desk because he messed up a line. I'm like, yeah. This is my guy. I love Dan Marino. It's like,
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes,
short temper Chad.
So good.
Short temper Chad. That's our guy. So
yeah. Did you notice though that speaking of bad acting from him, like at the end of the movie, he's getting a ride to the game from Ace, and he's just like, "You're a weird guy, Ace."
I literally send this meme. I have it cut down to a meme and I send it to my brother. Like that exact thing where he's like, "You're a weird guy, Ace, a weird guy," when he says some dumb shit. But yeah, dude. So anyway, Ace shows up, or he shows that. So during the doc scene, even before that though, he shows everyone's Einhorn's girl dick and they all freak out because they've all hooked up with her, right? Dan Marino makes the second half of the game where they presumably win the big game and all is well in the world, the end. Except I think that, doesn't he find, I can't even remember because I cut out before the end of the movie, but doesn't he like go after the pigeon or something? He finds the wild pigeon.
But the pigeon's on the Gatorade thing.
That's right. Yeah.
The cooler. And but this actually blew my mind because the mascot was an eagle.
Yeah.
On the sideline of the Dolphins. So it was like, what is actually going on here? But it's all in fun. It's all movie magic, ladies and gentlemen. They just have mascots of opposing teams right up in your grill on the sidelines.
Never noticed that.
This universe's NFL.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. End of story. End of movie. What's your Kino rating, my friend?
Dude, I give this movie a 7, and it's like a nice little hour and a half of your time. That's funny. We talked about it earlier. Me, black-pilled. I actually found myself laughing, though, for a few parts of this movie. Difference, though, between Ace and, like, Lloyd Christmas. And this is kind of like why I like Ace Ventura slightly more than Dumb and Dumber, is that Ace is actually, like, a normal... I don't know if normal is the right word, but he's, like, a normal guy using this slapstick as a coping mechanism to deal with people.
Yeah.
Whereas Lloyd is just actually dumb. And I prefer Ace.
It's one way of looking at it. Yeah, that's right up your alley, that character. For sure. That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
I give this movie an 8. And again, man, it's not groundbreaking cinema. And likely it's a nostalgia thing for me. But that said, it's like, you're hard pressed to find an original character played better by an actor. And it's not a serious movie. Like this is a comedy. and he just like creates this character. Super entertaining, like just the entertainment factor. All right. And like you said, hour and a half, fun watch. You could probably watch this movie once a year minimum, get something out of it. And again, if you know the quotes, like they were funny at one point. I don't know if they're funny anymore, but yeah, I think it still holds up. You could watch this movie once a year, in my opinion. So there you have it, folks. If you haven't seen it, Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. If you haven't already, please like, share an episode. Check out the website, www.regularmenthol.com, or email us at regularmenthol@gmail.com. And what do we got next week, my man?
Well, we have the 2013 thriller Enemy starring Jake Gyllenhaal. Wow, a psychological thriller.
Oh, yeah.
What's going on in this man's head? What's going on in my head? We'll find out next week.
Is my movie. But yeah, until then, catch you on the next one.